Good to go?
Just get going. Oh,
Just quietly.
back underway at the Olympic Oval in Calgary. The women's 3,000 meters at Canada Cup #2 underway. And it's the return of the quartet, so Leo and I will be managing a couple races at the same time, trying to make sense of all the chaos. I'll just go through the first heat. Beatrice Lamarche and Namaste Harris-Gauthier, both from Quebec. And the second pair now underway, Jasmine Chase and Alexa Scott from Ontario and Manitoba. So by now, Leo, a couple of these women have a couple races in the books. Now they're about to start at 3,000 meters. So what sort of objectives do they set themselves given the level of fatigue right now?
Well, the skaters have hopefully recovered from this morning's 1,000 meter. Very often skaters will race 1 to 2 races per day, so this is not very uncommon. So skaters will have tried to recover well, and they will have made a plan with their coach to skate a certain lap time, aim for a certain goal.
It's the two skaters from Quebec in the first pair, pretty much stride for stride. Is it just a matter in these races of getting a tempo that you can just maintain over 3 kilometers?
Exactly. The skaters will aim to set a certain tempo. And as the race goes on, they may slow down a little bit. But if they've aimed at the right pace, they will be finishing the race, going all out, yet not slowing down too much. As our timing system is down right now, so we will be getting you a few lap times.
So our second pair in the heat goes through. That's Chase and Scott.
So all 3 skaters skating the 7.5 lap race.
That's Alexa Scott out in front of her pair. She was 4th place in the Canada Cup in Quebec City last month. A bit higher up from her sprint results. So Scott looking more like she's found a niche in the distances. And in our first pair, Beatrice Lamarche was 2nd in the Canada Cup a month ago. Namaste Harris-Gauthier was 8th. So some of the top skaters in Canada Cup are in this. And you see there they are, the two right there, Lamarche and Harris-Gauthier, both almost stride for stride as they come up to complete another lap.
Alexa Scott in the 32-second range per lap right now.
There's confirmation of the armbands just to sort of keep track of things. The white and red are the first pair. The yellow and blue are the second pair.
This is Beatrice Lamarche et Namaste Harris-Gauthier qui entrent dans le village en blanc et rouge.
They are chasing her down. That is Jasmine Chase being chased down by our leading pair. There's Lamarche, Harris-Gauthier in blue.
Le dernier tour pour Béatrice Lamarche, 33.9.
And they are going to catch Jasmine Chase first. Now just half a straightaway ahead of her. Just a little carrot in these sorts of quads. Is that a target to sort of chase down for these skaters now?
Oh. And
they crossed the line.
Like the girls have crossed the line.
There is a bit of confusion with the timing here. And the first pair, Beatrice Lamarche and Namaste Harris-Gauthier, have crossed the line.
We don't have immediate times right now. But stay tuned. We will give you some updated times. You can also find the results at oval.ucalgary.ca.
So that's the end of the...
And there is some confusion over the laps here as the second pair is still on the ice. First pair all finished up.
So what we're going to do now is just regroup and get settled in for the second pair. We'll introduce you to them. Taylor White from Ontario and Olivia Scott also from Ontario, the Battle of the Scots. 7th and 5th place from the first Canada Cup. So that one, an enticing proposition there. And then in the other pair, Danielle Wallish and Véronique Derry. Wallish from Alberta, pardon me. Quebec is Derry's home province. Gonna probably make sure that everything is going correctly before we get them off underway.
Absolutely. So Taylor White's personal best in this distance, a 4:26.84. She'll be looking to beat that here today. In order to do so, she'll be aiming for 34.6 second laps. So keep an eye on those lap times. She must average faster than 34.6.
There we are, White and Scott. Just as a point to show, the world record still, and track record, still held by one Cindy Clausen out of Canada, 3:53.34. That was set way back, over a decade ago, March 18th, 2006.
As you watch the skaters enter the second corner coming up next, you will be able to see a large poster on the oval wall of Cindy Clausen. She was inducted into the oval wall of champions just over a month ago.
She was here last night to present some medals at the Canadian Single Distance Championships.
So timing systems back underway and all four skaters on the ice for this 3,000 meter race.
Pretty comparable opening 200 meters for all of them.
3,000 meter race, a 7.5 lap race.
And there are 10 heats that we have, 10 of these quartets to try to manage 4 skaters on the ice at the same time. And I like how you mentioned yesterday the reasoning why these times count for personal bests, but quartets do not count for world records or track records.
That's right, and that's because with extra skaters on the ice, it helps build a little bit of a whirlwind in the oval. You get a bit of wind that follows the skaters and helps make their path a bit easier. There's also a chance that the skaters can draft on the other pair, who are technically not in the same race. They're racing at the same time, but not in the same pair.
It's Wallish using a little bit of a draft on Derry before heading into that inner lane. Pulls out a little bit of an advantage at 1,000 meters. The fastest time is Wallish through 1,000 meters in this quartet.
So Véronique Derry, Danielle Wallish, they're both chasing personal bests. Look for them to aim for average lap times faster than 35.5. So far, well ahead of that pace.
Looks like we have established a fastest time right now. Beatrice Lamarche, 4:21.36. It's sort of a work in progress trying to sort out that first quartet. The leading pair, Taylor White, Olivia Scott, coming around to get 1,800 meters. That'll be 3 laps to go once they hit the line. Let's check the lap times here. Looks like White has a bit of an advantage. Her lap time as she hits the split, 35.06 that lap.
A close race between these two skaters, White and Scott, neck and neck. Only half second separates them through 1,800 meters, just over halfway done, 3,000 meter race.
And Taylor White moving into that outer lane with a bit of an advantage. Let's see what Scott can do coming into that inner lane.
In the second pair, Wallish starting to pull away from Dady.
Scott and White coming to the line. 35.32 lap time. Scott 35.62. So very close lap times between these two. And look at Wallish and Dady pulling ahead in that one. We'll get her time checked. The cameras are fixed on White and Scott right now. Wallish coming through 35.07, putting up a good time right now. Dady 35.73.
Danielle Wallish currently well on pace for a personal best if she can keep these lap times in the low 35s.
And there is the bell for Wallish and Dady, or White and Scott rather. White 35.98, 36.19 lap time for Olivia Scott.
Coach is trying to keep these skaters moving and driving right to the line.
Is the brain working at all inside of 400 meters, or just instinct carrying you to the finish line?
Mostly instinct. They are running on fumes here with 200 to go.
White and Scott, it's turned into a close race. It looks like Scott has pulled ahead now as they drive to the line. Scott and White trying to gain it back. Scott's going to take it though. Her time 4:28.61, 4:29.11 for Taylor White. And here comes Danielle Wallish. She's been putting up a barnstormer for herself as she comes to the line. Looks like she might have one of the faster times of the day. She crosses 4:26.55.
That's a 3-second personal best for Danielle Wallish. What a race. Véronique Dady, 4:31.43, also a personal best.
Wallish had the fastest time just up until the very end there. Slips to third, but certainly a reason for encouragement for her with another personal best.
So after 4 pairs, Béatrice Lamarche sitting at the top of the leaderboard. She has the time to beat. 4:21.36. Le temps à battre de Béatrice Lamarche, 4:21.36. Namaste Harris Gauthier juste en arrière d'elle, 4:21.92. Danielle Wallish pulling up third, 4:26.
Third of our quartets on the track, Olivia Moyse from Saskatchewan and Kirsten Hagen from BC. The second pair going in just a few seconds. Gabrielle Sanson from Saskatchewan, Janelle Wiebe from Alberta. Sanson 14th at the Canada Cup in Quebec City in this distance last month.
So all 4 skaters on the track now. Olivia Moyse with a quick opener, 21.9. That's the second fastest opener of the morning.
Now, once they've built up a speed like this, where they have a good opener in a race like a 3,000, what's key to sort of maintaining that drive, maintaining that speed?
Not to panic. Very often these skaters, especially the young skaters, will start a little bit faster than they planned on it. And that's because it's a long race. They're supposed to start conservative, but they get excited, the legs feel good, you start a little bit too fast. And the idea when that happens is to not panic and shut down your body, because once you slow down, it's hard to pick up that speed again. You waste a lot of energy.
Fastest time through 600 meters in this heat is 34.76 on that last lap. Kirsten Hagen, all pretty comparable. They're all in the 57s after 600 meters. Hagen goes through 1:32.71. Her time right now, 1:33.9 for Moyse through 1,000 meters.
Hagen and Moyse both chasing personal bests of 4:35. Could very well do that here today. They will be looking for 36-second laps on average if they want to be close to that time. So keep an eye on those lap times. Both on pace right now.
This stage of the game, Sanson and Weeb, the cameras are on that pair. Sanson has the lead. Weeb has the inner lane, though. Gonna close things up as they come up to 1,400 meters. The lap time for Sanson, we will get a look in just a minute. There it is, 36.2, 35.99. So Weeb closing up just over 0.2 of a second.
Both skaters staying close. They're working off each other, trying to keep pace with each other.
Looks like Weeb's legs are going just that little bit faster, a higher tempo.
Good leg speed from her. See if that's natural. If she's forcing that speed, it might hurt her in the end.
There's Sanson coming back, finishing this lap strong. Let's check the time when they cross as we cut back to the other pair. But we'll have a look. Sanson 36.45, 36.31 for Weeb.
Kirsten Hagen really pulling away from Olivia Moyes.
That's her in your picture right now. Last lap time 35.68. She comes up to 2 laps to go, 35.87. So consistent lap times from the looks of things.
Kirsten Hagen currently on pace for a big personal best if she can keep this up. She's challenging Olivia Scott for 5th place on the leaderboard. Scott skated a sub 4:30 time. That would be over 5 seconds off Hagen's time.
Here comes Kirsten Hagen coming up to get the bell. One of the most wonderful sounds for a distance skater like this. Her lap time 36.24. Moyes through 2,600 meters, 38.94 lap time. There's Hagen dropping both the arms. She knows a good time is in the offing as she moves into the inner lane.
Still a close fight underway between Sanson and Weeb in the second pair. They're under 1 lap to go.
Here comes Hagen round in the corner into the final turn, drops the arms, driving to the line, trying to get a time that she likes. She crosses 4:32.29, so she slipped a little bit.
But still a big personal best for Kirsten Hagen, 3 seconds.
And here comes Moyes, her final lap time. Actually, it's not Moyes. That is Moyes. Pardon me. 39.17 lap time, 4:44.92. And then the second pair. This one is close. Sanson and Weeb.
Drag race to the finish.
Who's gonna take it? Looks like it's Sanson just by 0.14 of a second.
Both times in the 4:40 range. As we now look at our next quartet on the line, all 4 skaters grouped together, ready to go dans la première paire. Laurence Paquet et Gabrielle Jelinek, 2 athlètes du Québec.
Jelinek, a 6th place at the Canada Cup last month. Paquet, 15th. See what this pairing does for them. See if Paquet can drag up to Jelinek.
Ils sont partis. Jelinek et Paquet. 3000 mètres à faire.
Then the second pair, Danielle Dumouchel from New Brunswick and Jenna Mirth from Alberta.
Regarde les temps de 400 mètres pour Laurence Paquet et Gabrielle Jelinek. Il leur faut 37 secondes par tour ou moins pour patiner un temps record ou un temps personnel.
Look at the opening 200 meters from Jelinek, 21:18. It's the fastest opener we've had. Obviously not going to count any chickens before they hatch, but a fast opener. 32:97 lap time for Jelinek. 54.15 after 600 meters. Pulling out an advantage on Paquet quite early. Closer in the second pairing, Dumouchel and Mirth, 34.55 lap time, 34.29. Very close between those two.
So really taking off early in this race. Ambitious start for her.
Jelinek's through 34.43 lap time for her.
So Dumuchel and Mirth both chasing personal best of 440. They want to go underneath that 440 mark. In order to do so, they have to skate faster than 37 seconds per lap.
Looks like they're on pace for that right now. 34.21 lap time for Dumuchel. Mirth 35.39. They're putting up some of the faster splits so far today. Jelinek again through 35.23 lap time there after 1,400 meters, maintaining her speed so far.
So Gabrielle Jelinek through 1,400 meters. She's leading the whole pack. So 1,400 mètres, Gabrielle Jelinek avec le temps le plus vite.
2:03.81 through 1,400 meters. Time to beat still Béatrice Lamarche, 4:21.36. And Jelinek maintaining 35.8 lap time.
Quelle course par Gabrielle Jelinek. Elle ne se fatigue pas.
For a skater, is there ever sort of a race where suddenly everything starts to click and it changes? Are we potentially looking at something like that now?
Could be it. She's still looking strong with 2 laps to go. She's not slowing down.
Jelinek coming through 2,200 meters. We'll check the next split, see what pace she's still got going. Lap time 36.39, so she's slipped just a little bit.
She's still in line for a great race. 2 laps remaining for Jelinek.
At this stage of the race, what do you say to her if you're going down the back stretch?
To stay low and to focus on her technique. When you get tired like this, it is so easy to just stand up and make things easier for yourself.
It's the reason why you spend so much time on technique, is I guess this is where it comes in to help you.
Exactly. It's not on the first few laps. It's in the last few laps where it really counts. Swinging an arm, 1 lap to go.
There is the bell, 37.04. That lap time slipped down to 4th. We'll see how she can finish. What's in the tank for Gabrielle Jelinek? She's the one to watch right now. She'll win her pair easily. We'll see where she's finishing.
Dumuchel and Mirth now on their last laps. Close race between those two, only 0.3 apart.
We'll get to them in just a minute, but all eyes on Gabrielle Jelinek right now. One arm spinning herself to the line. We'll see what time she gets as she crosses. Jelinek goes to 7th, 37.77 the last lap, 4:30.81 overall.
Un temps personnel pour Gabrielle Jelinek, 4:30.81.
Here comes Paquet to the finish line, quickly being chased down by a close race between Dumuchel and Mirth. Paquet 4:48.26. Right behind them, Mirth 4:34.83. She takes the pair over Dumuchel 4:35.53. Jelinek hanging in the lead for so long. If you're a younger skater, to know that you've got a good chunk of that race in the bag, it's just now a matter of finishing it off.
We focused on Gabrielle Jelinek, but quietly off camera, Jenna Mirth and Danielle Dumuchel putting together amazing races as well. Big personal best for both skaters.
So it seems in the 1,000, maybe the PBs weren't coming in the women's races, but now in the 3K, they're breaking all their barriers right now.
Absolutely. As we look at the next pair on the line, in the inner lane from Alberta, Jessica Conrad, and in the outer lane du Québec, Rose La Liberté Roy.
How often are there false starts in the distance races where maybe the start isn't as important as the sprints?
Definitely not very often. These two skaters now have to be careful. If they false start again, they would be disqualified, which would be quite embarrassing in over a 3,000 meter race where the start matters very little.
This time they do get away cleanly, paying attention to getting off the line. Conrad on the inner, La Liberté Roy on the outer. The next pair, Rosanne Grenier from Quebec and Amanda Mitchell from BC.
Both of these skaters looking for that 37 seconds per lap range, so keep an eye on those lap times, whether they're on pace for a personal best.
22:51 opening split. 24:81. La Liberté Roy was 9th in the Canada Cup a month ago.
Dans la deuxième paire, c'est Rosanne Grenier et Amanda Mitchell.
Swing across to exchange the lanes. Quickly done there.
Grenier chasse un temps personnel de 4:44:59. Elle va faire une moyenne par tour de 37,5 secondes.
Our eyes are on Mitchell and Grenier right now. 35:26 lap time for Mitchell. Grenier 35:96.
So close race between all four skaters. Mitchell currently leading through 200 meters in this 3,000 meter race.
Looks like sorting through some issues once again, but we'll just keep an eye on these pairs. It is Conrad in front of the pair ahead of La Liberté Roy. She puts in a 36.78, 36.86 for La Liberté Roy, so close on those lap times, and you can see how close they are on the track. This crossover will be interesting. It looks like there is one person standing up there. A little bit of a hiccup on that crossover.
So a slight issue. Both skaters navigated it safely. That was Mitchell and Grenier. Mitchell continuing to lead with 4 laps remaining.
37.34, 37.44. So just a 10th difference of a second in those split times.
C'est Mitchell qui mène Grenier. On va voir si Grenier a une réponse avec 4 tours à faire.
And there's our first pair, Jessica Conrad and Rose La Liberté Roy.
Conrad's going to be looking for a draft on this backstretch. Sorry, La Liberté Roy will be looking for a draft, but Conrad wisely moving straight into the outer lane, taking away the potential for a draft as La Liberté Roy is going to attack this inner lane.
This first pair, the last lap for Conrad and La Liberté Roy were faster than the other pair. They found a tempo to settle into. Pretty close.
Tour à faire. So these skaters now chasing the time of Gabrielle Sanson, who was 9th.
Looks like La Liberté Roy is pulling it out a little bit over Conrad. Conrad with that inner lane. There is the bell for the two. La Liberté Roy and Conrad, the first pair, pretty close as they get inside 400 meters.
They are looking at a low 4:40 final time. That would be right in line with their personal bests. See if they can keep this time down.
Conrad drops the arms on the back stretch.
Looking for 13th place. Gabrielle Sanson finished with a 4:40. Can they beat it?
Here comes La Liberté Roy. We'll check as she crosses the line. The time goes up, 4:38.44. Conrad 4:40.77.
Avec un temps final de 4:40.77. C'est un temps personnel pour Rose La Liberté Roy. Quelle course!
And then Grenier and Mitchell. Grenier has pulled out the lead. We'll see how she finishes. She crosses 4:41.38. and Mitchell 4:44.02. So pretty even. We have 15, 13, 16, and 17. So they were all sort of in the ballpark of each other there, position-wise.
Great finish there from Rosanne Grenier. She held it together at the end of the race and caught her pair.
Sixth quartet set to go. Sierra Johnson and Cassidy Peterson of Ontario and Alberta, respectively, to kick things off. Ashley Hanna and Laura Hall from Manitoba and BC to go second. Johnson 21st. Peterson 16th in this distance at Canada Cup number 1.
So Johnson and Peterson now underway. The opening 200 meters of the 3,000 meter race. 1,000 meter race is a long distance race, but it is relatively short. It's over in a blink of an eye, so these initial portions of the race do matter quite a bit. Skaters have to remain focused and not start too fast or too slow.
And is this one of those events, you've mentioned some of the longer distance ones, the more experienced athletes tend to peak then at a later age? Is this one of those ones where you sort of learn from experience how to do a race better that you might not have at a younger age?
And that's a big part of growing up and becoming a more mature and experienced speed skater, is learning how to race these distance races. There's many factors to consider, not only your physical ability and how you feel, but also, how your pair is skating. Not to get, the skaters shouldn't get wrapped up in how their opponent is skating and just focus on their own race.
Time check, 600 meters, Ashley Hanna lap time 36.79, Laura Hall 36.64. All within a second of each other in that one. First pair also within a second of each other. Johnson and Peterson, though, are going at a bit of a quicker clip.
Cassidy Peterson well ahead of her seating position right now. After 1,000 meters, she is sitting in 10th. See if she can maintain this pace. Peterson's personal best, 4:44.90.
Peterson pulling away now, just under 5 seconds in front of Johnson, just past the halfway mark now, as Hanna and Hall come up to get their 1,400 meter time check. Very even race. Hall has both arms going. And then in the background now, heads up, here comes Cassidy Peterson.
She is flying. Let's see if this next lap can stay under 36.
There it is, 35.18.
Wow, Cassidy Peterson. With 2.5 laps to go, she is on a blistering pace here.
We did see some of the other ladies sort of fade at the end. We'll see what Peterson has in the tank. If she's also gone out maybe a bit too hard, or if she's charging late on with a bit of a spurt at the end. Here comes Peterson for 2,200 meters, 2 laps to go. Looking pretty smooth. Lap time 35.23, up to 6th fastest split so far.
Peterson now chasing Véronique Derry for the top 5 position on the leaderboard with 2 laps to go.
And now how much motivation, how much does seeing the pair in front of her add to her charge in the final few laps here?
It will help her in a significant way to have that pair in front of you. Gives you something to chase.
Obviously not going to be able to draft, but it's just that carrot in front of you. Looks like she might get Hanna. Hopefully the transition is okay. 35.7. She's moving up as this race goes along. Cassidy Peterson, hello.
Hanna and Hall still in a good race. They are chasing each other as Peterson's coming up. We've got 3 skaters on the backstretch.
Oh dear, here we go down the stretch. Peterson and Hanna.
Peterson challenging for the leaderboard.
There they go. Gets around Hannah. Looks like it's okay. Here comes Cassidy Peterson to the line.
She move into a top 3 position.
Her time at the line slipped a little bit last lap, 36.6, 4:38.5.
And she gets out of the way in time for the next pair to keep going. Ashley Hanna and Laura Hall still wrapping up their race. They're neck and neck. This is going to be a close race.
Sierra Johnson comes through, 4:49.03. And into the final lap for these two. Ashley Hanna looking like she wants to take this pair with Laura Hall. Inside 100 meters to go for these two. Here comes Hall chasing down Hanna. Hanna trying to hold her off to the line. Looks like she will do just that. 4:54.77, 4:55.68 for Hall. Now on another day, Leo, Cassidy Peterson, there's no worry coming into that final turn about getting through another skater. Is that something she looks at post-race and goes, well, I could have gone faster, and there's one possibility right there?
It's hard to say. She might have been held up in terms of speed with those skaters in front of her, having to navigate a pass. On the other hand, for 3 laps, she had the opportunity to chase the pair in front of her, which might have helped her out. Nonetheless, an amazing time for Cassidy Peterson. Leaps and bounds ahead of her personal best, nearly 14 seconds.
Goodness. Lily Weidman, Ontario, Kennedy Charles from Manitoba now on the track. They've just seen another young skater put up a whopper of a time, seeing if they can do the same. The second pair on the track, Emma Javra, Emma Stevens in the Battle of Emma. Manitoba and Alberta. Winner gets to keep Emma as the first name. Of course, I'm just kidding.
So Lily Weidman and Kennedy Charles both chasing personal bests in the mid 4:50 range. Those are average lap times of 39 seconds. So if they can keep these times under 39, they're on track.
Cameras are watching Emma Javra and Emma Stevens right now. Javra in the yellow armband, Stevens in the blue.
In these 3,000-meter races, skaters will often separate their race into 3 segments. The first third, or first 2.5 laps, the middle 2.5 laps, and then the final 2.5 laps. Their goal in the first 2.5 laps is to try and set a pace, look for easy, relaxed speed, not waste any energy. In the middle laps, they'll look to build their corners in order to maintain the speed. And once they reach the final 2 laps, they're looking to give everything they have and leave it all on the ice.
How important is mental toughness in this? Because if you have a plan for a race and you see your partner sort of skating away a little bit, but you know that you have your own plan, how tough is it to sort of keep a lid on it and not chase after them when you might not want to?
It's very difficult. These athletes are competitive. You know, they compare each other, they compare themselves to each other, and when one skater who you're paired against is really taking off in front of you, it's hard not to feel that and try to match them. The problem with matching them and not racing your own race is that they maybe took off too fast. And if you just skated your own pace, there's a good chance you would catch them by the end.
Emma Javra now coming through for 1,400 meters, leading her pair. 38.93 lap time. All pretty comparable here, all in the 2:17s, except for Emma Stevens, who's a little bit further back, but 3 of the 4 skaters all almost identical times.
All skaters currently on the required pace. Emma Stevens just dipping above that 39-second per lap mark. Same with Kennedy Charles. They have 3 laps remaining.
Bit of a move there by Weidman to get ahead of Charles.
Weidman looking strong on that backstretch, swinging in arms nice and low.
Javra now through 39.46 lap time. She's slipped a little bit behind Weidman as well in the clock.
So One thing to look out for is the difference between the skaters' technique at the beginning of the race and at the end of the race. The best skaters in the world hardly change from the beginning to the end. Everything stays together, even as every muscle in their body is screaming at them.
Weidman ticks into 39 for that lap, with 38 rather, with 2 laps to go. Charles into the mid-39 range. And Javra at 39.9, slipping a little bit further behind, and then Stevens will come in with a 40.43 lap time. All eyes right now on Lily Weidman, the fastest of this quartet of skaters.
Weidman chasing the 17th position of Sierra Johnson.
There's the bell. Lap 39.61. Big little slip of a time there. 4:12.66 overall. 40.54 for Kennedy Charles. Weidman inside 400 meters, dropping the arms, trying to get whatever energy is left in the tank.
She's looking for a personal best. Lily Weidman. She needs a 4:54.5.
This one,
she's on pace right now.
It's going to be close. Weidman, let's see what she can pull out here. Inside 100 meters, she comes to the line. She'll have the fastest time of this quartet. Where will she finish? Lily Weidman crosses her time, 4:53.68.
That's a small personal best for Lily Weidman. Good race. Kennedy Charles just off her PB, 4:57.32.
Now Javra's going to win the second pair. 40.46 on the last lap time. She comes to the line and will clock in 4:57.97, a little behind Kennedy Charles. And then Emma Stevens, 5:03.34.
And we move quickly on here, one race after another. These quartets for the ladies, 3,000 meter Canada Cup number 2. Last night we witnessed the Canadian Single Distance Championship and 2018 Long Track Team Selection event for the ladies 3,000. Evanie Blondin took the crown in that event.
Nearly fell off the podium as well, but she kept it up. Didn't suffer any injuries. First pair underway, second pair, Una Lovell and Sophie Pett from BC and Alberta. They're underway as well. Hannah Brunn and Victoria Goplin are from BC and Alberta through the first 200 meters.
Look for Goplin's times to be under 39 seconds per lap. If she can keep that pace, she'll be on track for a personal best. Brunn is chasing a PB of just under 5 minutes, so she needs to average mid 39 seconds per lap.
Lovell with the 7th fastest opening 200 meters. Goplin and Brunn come through 36 plus times. Here comes Lovell already with a good couple meters out on Pett. We'll see what Lovell's first lap time is, first full lap time. She goes by 37.7, so slipped off after a quick opening 200 meters. 38.62 from Pett.
Una Lovell off to a quick start. Same with Goplin and Brunn. Challenge now will be to maintain this speed. You see the coaches on the backstretch. Sometimes they'll yell words of advice to the skaters. Other times they'll make hand signals, swinging their hands side to side, and trying to get the skaters to have nice, smooth weight transfer.
Una Lovell leading this pair through. This is the race we're watching here. Lovell and Pett. Lovell goes 39.05, so a bit of a drop off again after 1,000 meters. 39.29. Sophie Pett still behind on the lap time, but the gap is closing in terms of them. So we'll see if Pett is finding her stride and warming into this race.
Lovell and Pett will look to keep their lap times under 40 seconds. By starting a bit faster than that, they are banking some time for the end, so they can afford to go a little bit slower in the last couple laps.
Meanwhile, Victoria Gopelin pulling away from Hannah Brunn in the other pair. Lovell goes there, 39.15, so barely a movement of her lap time. Sophie Pett, same deal, 39.34, so both of them kept comparable lap times in the last 2 laps.
In these long distance races, the outer lanes are always challenging. At slower speeds, when the skaters are in the outer lane, their bodies are leaned over less, and it's harder to get that push angle. So expect every time the skater hits that outer lane for them to slow down a little bit, only to pick it up again in the inner.
Victoria Gopelin staying consistent, couple laps in the 38 still. Beatrice Lamarche still in the lead, 4:21.36. Don't think any of these ladies are going to catch that time, but they're skating for their own times as well. So here comes Gopelin. We'll see if she can keep it into the 38s this time around. 2 laps to go for her. 37.42 ticking down for her.
Big negative split for Victoria Gopelin.
Brunn through 2,200 meters, 42.73. But let's see how well Gopelin can hang on to this speed. She's going, her laps are getting faster as she goes.
Pett also negative splitting in the second pair. So Gopelin is chasing Sierra Johnson, 17th place time.
There is the bell. We'll see how Gopelin's able to maintain. 1 lap to go. Her lap time there, 38.2, so not a huge drop off.
Don't forget her personal best, a 4:56. If she keeps this lap time down, she is on pace for a big personal best.
Brunn 43.41 that last lap. There's the bell also for Una Lovell and Sophie Pett coming up. Their times 46.4. Sophie Pett and Una Lovell are almost identical. That race is almost a dead heat. We'll get there in just a second. Here comes Gopelin to the line. We'll see what kind of time she gets. 4:49.26, 38.15 lap time. Not much of a drop off there.
So Victoria Gopelin with that time moves into 22nd position with a big personal best. First time under 4:50.
Here comes Brunn to the line. Just keeping a tempo that'll get her over. There it is, 5:09.73. And then look at this, Lovell, Pett. It looks like it's going to be Pett, who was behind early on, who's going to take this one now. 4:59.16, 4:59.57 for Lovell, both under 5 minutes.
Great race for both skaters. Breaking that 5-minute barrier, that is a big deal for both of those athletes.
And the final quartet coming up. Rachel Freitag from Ontario on the inner lane in the first pair. Vanessa Coutu from Saskatchewan in the outer. And then right behind them, Zuzana Nedelyakova and Brooke Braun. Second to final quartet.
Freitag's personal best, 5:04. Kutsu's personal best, 5:03. So well-matched pair. Only a second separates their best times.
Freitag 23rd, the first Canada Cup of the season. Now here comes Nedelyakova from Alberta. Braun from BC.
Braun's personal best, a 5:09.80, so just under that 5:10 mark. Nedelyakova's personal best, 5:11.88.
For split times, just a couple tenths difference between Freitag and Coutu. A long, long way to go for them as well. And Braun goes through 23.4. Nedelyakova 24.55. See how Nedelyakova warms into this race. She gets a bit of a draft down there as Braun goes over the top.
Good quick opener from Brooke Braun. The challenge now, keep that speed.
Freitag there making a bit of a move, puts a second up on Coutu, 38.49, 39.43.
So Freitag and Kutsu will be looking to keep their lap times under 40 seconds average.
Look at that lap time from Braun, 36.66, and Nedelyakova also going faster than the other pair, 37.15.
Off to a blazing start, trying to bank some time early on in this 3,000-meter race. Skaters have to be careful now. Stay within their ability. If they panic because they went too fast, they risk slowing right down and not being able to pick up that intensity again.
Braun and Nedelyakova is what you're watching right now. BC against Alberta, a third of the way through the race, 38.08, 38.36. So Nedelyakova just a little bit slower on that lap than Braun, but the gap has closed compared to the previous lap.
They are looking for average lap times of under 41 seconds, so they are well ahead of pace right now. As these two skaters switch lanes on the backstretch.
Brooke Braun, a little grimace on her face there. Almost halfway there. I'm sure that would be no consolation when you say, yeah, you're almost halfway, but...
So important these skaters keep their bodies relaxed throughout this 3,000 meters.
What happens if you sort of tense up?
Well, tensing up uses a lot of muscle strength while not necessarily helping you skate any faster, and so tensing up can really sap that energy bank which you need to finish off the race. And that's Vanessa Coutu coming through, 1,800 meters down, 3 laps remaining. Her lap time 41.44. So she's fallen 4 seconds behind Freitag, who is right on pace where she needs to be for a personal best.
Freitag still in the 39s, coming up to 2 laps to go. Smooth and comfortable in this pair against Coutu.
Good weight transfer. Coutu starting to put her hands on her knees.
39.68 was Freitag's last time, and Coutu just wants to get to the finish line.
2 laps remaining for her. Nedelyakova and Braun coming through now. 2 laps remaining for them. Braun is leading the way.
Braun, another Fort St. John Elks speed skater, dips into the 40 seconds. 42s for Nedelyakova. Freitag, this will be the bell. Still comfortable. The one arm, the metronome keeping her going.
She is looking so strong here with 1 lap to go.
I just noticed how focused that one arm is driving her forward. Is that an indication that she's comfortable?
Absolutely. It's always a good idea to watch the tempo and the body language of these skaters as they go. If their arm and leg movements are quick and snappy, it means they still have lots of energy. And look at her in that last corner, still moving strong.
Freitag just dipped into the 40 seconds last lap. Gets both arms going inside of 100 meters. Freitag wants to set a time that she can be happy with. Comes to the line. Freitag, 5 minutes, even .89.
That is a 4-second personal best for Rachel Freitag. What a race, what a finish.
Braun has surpassed Coutu coming down the line. Brine also just wanting to get there. She crosses 41.49, 5 minutes 01.
Wow, she eked out Freitag at the line, just missing that sub 5 minute mark.
Coutu crossed as well. Nedelyakova over the line, 5:13.21.
So Brooke Braun narrowly missing that sub 5 minute mark, but still a big 10-second personal best for her.
And I guess whenever there's like in a sprint where you tick into a new second, it's also another big deal in the distance races where you tick into a new minute.
Absolutely.
Final quartet of the day up first. Pair 19 from Alberta, Molly Johnson, Annika Marshall from Saskatchewan. And then in the second pair, Elliot Gana from Manitoba and Alexa Aneka from Ontario. I think she's set a few PBs over the course of the last couple days here.
So all 4 of these skaters have an opportunity to skate a personal best here on the fastest ice in the world, Calgary, Alberta, the Olympic Oval.
False start there. Now Johnson and Marshall living dangerously.
We've seen a number of personal bests throughout this ladies 3,000 meter. See if we can finish off on a high note with our last 4 skaters on the line. Johnson and Marshall now underway.
Clean start this time between the Saskatchewan skater and the one from Alberta.
Molly Johnson's personal best, a 5:19.80. Marshall's personal best, 5:12.74.
Second pair underway. Also false starts. So this might complicate things in the quartet, as this is the first time we've seen the second pair false starting.
So often the starter will hold the start now. We'll see if he will attempt to restart the pair before the end of the race. Sometimes they wait until the very end of the race.
So it doesn't look like they'll risk it right now anyway.
Safety is, oh, and they will head out there, so our second pair will be just a lap behind our first pair.
Marshall with the early advantage as this second pair gets underway. This time away cleanly.
Ganas and Aneka. Ganas's personal best, 5:22.35, and Neka, 5:17.26. So a well-matched pair.
Neka set that 5:17 mark at that Canada Cup last month in Quebec City outdoors, where she was 20 seconds. So we'll see what the move inside will do for her. She has set a few PBs yesterday and today, as we mentioned.
Skaters looking to keep their lap times under 42 seconds average.
Gana low to the ground, compact there.
So far, Molly Johnson and Annika Marshall right on pace in that sub 40 seconds.
Stride for stride in this second pair. Gana and Aneka through 600 meters. Just about identical. Let's see the lap times. 37.21, 37.66, less than 2/10 separating them.
So Ganas and Annika really starting quick, trying to bank some time early. 3,000 meter race, 7.5 laps. Each lap is 400 meters, the same distance as a running track.
Through 1,400 meters, Johnson and Marshall. Johnson back into the 40-second range. Marshall still in the 39s. Pulled out almost just over 2 seconds actually now. Annika now through 1,000 meters, and Ganas still in the 38 range.
Looks like Alexa Aneka setting up a big draft on this backstretch. In fact, she will go over the top of her pair, and oh no, we have a fall.
Ganas goes down.
And that was a weird fall down the straightaway. She may have just dug her toe in. Her race is over. She looks okay, just a bit disappointed.
Now it's Annika on her own, coming up to 1,400 meters. That's the skater you're looking at right now with the blue armband. 38.45 the lap time, so maintaining 38 seconds. And Annika looking like she might put in another personal best kind of time. Looks like Ganas is okay. She's leaning on the mats right now, decompressing a little bit.
So Aneka currently on a great race. She is chasing Brooke Braun's 24th position.
She now has, as she stares down the home stretch, there's Molly Johnson and Annika Marshall in front of her, but they only have 2 laps to go. Annika has 3. Look at that, into the low 38. So Annika is getting faster as the race goes on.
So Alexa Annika looking for a big personal best. If she can maintain this pace, she will go sub 5 minutes.
Johnston and Marshall Almost stride for stride, matching it as they hear the bell. Let's check out the lap times. There was 0.6 difference. I don't think that's the case this time around. 40.56, 41.24 is Johnson looking like she is going to pull away on this last lap.
This will be a close finish. Marshall had the lead with 1 to go, but Johnson was going faster.
Look out behind them, 38.04, Annika. Closing in.
Look at that backstretch. Both skaters giving it everything they have.
Let's see what's left in the tank. It now looks like Marshall has taken the advantage once again. Both arms now down, driving to the line. We'll check the time as they cross. Look out for Johnson. Marshall goes 38.99, 39.72. Nice last lap there.
Big personal bests for both Molly Johnson and Annika Marshall. Finishing on a high note for this ladies 3,000 meters, but Alexa Aneka still on the line, or still on the ice with half a lap remaining. She's looking for a sub 5-minute time.
Keep in mind, her personal best is 5:17, so this would be just smashing her old personal record. She's been low 38s the last few laps. We'll see what the last lap can bring if it was all cooked a little too early, but she brings it to the line, both arms going. Let's have a look. 38.71 the lap time, 4:50.65. Goodness.
Wow, what a race. Leaping up the leaderboard to 23rd place, just behind Victoria Gopelin, but ahead of Lily Weidman. Great finish.
Here's a look at the incident once again.
Oh, and it looks like she just caught a funny outer edge. She didn't dig in. But belly sliding down the backstretch.
Looks like she is okay, though, but just a tough day at the office. And that wraps up the ladies' 3,000 meters.
The fastest time of the afternoon was set by Béatrice Lamarche, 4:21.36. Just behind her, Namaste Harris Gauthier, 4:21.92. And Danielle Wallish with a 4:26.55 rounded off the top 3.
So still to come in the Canada Cup this afternoon. We'll take a bit of a break. Here is the men's 5,000 meters. Another bunch of quartets still to come. Stick with us, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed everything so far. But we'll take a little bit of a break, and we will be back soon.